Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball,
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone, to Life Lessons from Pickleball. Oh my gosh, it's so great to have you with us. And we are really honored to have with us as well guest Martin Clark. Martin, you are an Australian emergency room doctor from the Gold Coast of Australia and a standout figure in the international pickleball scene. And you are currently a member of the Seattle Tsunami Senior Pro Pickleball team.
You have
Thank you.
amassed over 25 gold medals across Asia and Australia, including a gold in men's Open 50 plus at the Asia Open and a bronze in pro mixed doubles. Notably, you co-won the mixed masters title at the inaugural National Pickleball League Championships on the Gold Coast.
My
Wow.
gosh. Martin, such amazing accomplishments after only playing the sport for 4 years and with such a demanding medical career. So, we want to ask you, how did you decide to go into emergency medicine in the first place?
Well, emergency medicine, my brother was a doctor. I love scientific things. I wanted to work with people. It seemed like a good thing to do at the time. And I guess at 17, when you make the decision, you're pretty immature, but it worked out well. And I've enjoyed it. I mean, it has its challenges working, with death and dying and all the dramas, but overall, it's a very satisfying, rewarding career.
That's wonderful. My youngest is now an ER tech in
Okay.
Phoenix at Mayo
Yeah.
Clinic. Yeah, so I totally get that high adrenaline and oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's demanding, but as a
Yeah.
doctor especially.
It's rewarding, but it can take its toll on you as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good that you have pickleball for an outlet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
pickleball.
Yeah.
So
So,
speaking of that, when did Australia pick up pickleball, and then how were you introduced to it?
So it's probably really only been in Australia about 7 years.
Oh,
There was a fellow called Keith Bing, who was an American who came to Australia, worked with Engage, and he was very instrumental in doing lots of the setup in Australia. And then we had our inaugural Australian Championships, I think it was 6 years ago. And all the Engage crew came out and they swept the field. And then there was a bit more interest in pickleball, and now it's on the same growth curve as the US. It's getting very big here.
how
Yeah,
is it do you guys have a lot of courts? Like, that's an issue here is court time.
that's the biggest issue. We
hmm
There still aren't enough courts. It's still really the majority of courts are still tennis courts with either lines painted over them or tape put down. We
uh,
don't have nearly enough custom built courts.
yeah.
I'm very fortunate at home. When I got addicted to pickleball, we built an indoor and an outdoor court. So I've got two courts at home. So
That's awesome.
a bit of an addict. So I don't have to travel really to find courts, and we have lots of people coming here. But yes, we do have a problem with not enough courts in
So
the
Yeah.
maybe
community.
that helps to answer the question on how do you manage both your demanding medical career and being a pro pickleball player?
Um, so initially, it was just finding the time. If you love something enough, you can find the time, even if it's half an hour. I've got a ball machine at home. So even if I've got 20 minutes spare, I'll get out and I'll hit 50 third shot drops or do some dinks or do something.
Yeah.
And I find it a great stress reliever. When I'm playing pickleball, I think of nothing else. It's just, I love the sound of it, everything about it. I really like it. And I escape from life and just really enjoy pickleball. And then there's the community aspect. I have lots of people over
Mm.
here to play. It's a bit of a training venue, really, where I live. And so many nice people in pickleball. It just seems that everyone who plays pickleball, in general, really nice people.
Don't you
So that
find?
sense of
Yeah.
yeah, just that sense of community is the best thing of all, really.
That's so
Absolutely.
great to hear. It's the same in Australia as it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell us about competing in the National Pickleball League and the experiences with the Seattle Tsunami. We're Seattleites, so we're excited about that.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome. So Rick Witzkin and Beth Bellamy and Michael Chen created the NPL, as kind of a home for seniors, for senior pros in the States. And the first one was 2 seasons ago.
Oh,
And I got drafted by the Indy team, Indianapolis, and we ended up winning the whole thing. And it was absolutely awesome, the whole thing, because you've basically got, at that stage it was 8 teams who would turn up. There were 16 people on each team. So you've got over 100 players who are fantastic and great people all next to each other playing on every court. The sense of camaraderie and the team spirit and the cheering and everything about it, I just loved, and I was so addicted to it. So it's very tiring going back and forth from Australia once a month, basically for 6 months.
Oh,
Six
yeah.
months, and that's taxing, but it's just absolutely worth it. I've made so many new friends. I love the pickleball. Traveling with pickleball is just the best. I really enjoy that. So last year I got drafted by Seattle. I didn't make most of it because I was unwell, but they kept their faith, and I've been drafted with them again this year. So
that's so
can't wait.
exciting.
Yeah.
How did they find you all the way in Australia?
I guess it was results and duper. So if your duper is high enough and you're in that top 100 or so,
Oh.
then your name springs up. So I had enough good results across Asia.
Mhm.
I played in a couple of US Opens and got some reasonable results there. So just lucky enough they took a chance on year one, and then it's continued on from there.
Do you find a difference when you are playing with international players outside of Australia? Is there a difference in the game or the style or anything when you're playing?
So the US Senior League is a lot stronger than the Australian Senior League. So it's playing seniors in the US at the top level is almost the same as playing Open here. Not quite as high as the Open here because there are a lot of young ex-tennis players coming across who have made it super strong. But the US level of pros in seniors is very high. There's a legendary guy, Mills Miller, who was in my indie team. And I was just amazed how he just always knew where the ball was going. And I said, your court sense is amazing. How long have you been playing for? And he said, oh, 35 years.
Oh my
You're like,
gosh.
okay.
Gosh, you know, he just knows where every ball is going. And that's what it's like. A lot of these players in the seniors have been just playing forever. So they know the game backwards. They're very smart, very knowledgeable, and it's a really high level.
And what is your duper score?
My duper at the moment is 5.27.
Whee!
Um, So I think the highest I got to was 5.4. I didn't play. I was unwell last year, so I missed a fair bit and came back slowly. So I dropped a little bit, but yeah, about 5.27.
Oh my gosh. And is that,
Yeah.
generally speaking, your team, the level for your team?
Yeah, there'd be no one under 5. So everyone is over 5, and the top players. Rick Whitskin's our captain, and I think he's 6. He's
Wow.
5'9" to 6'1", somewhere in that vicinity.
How high does it go for senior pros?
It can go as high as, yeah, it can go. I mean, I think Ben Johns is like 6.8 or
Is
7
it?
or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
and I think the top. I think Jamie Onseen's might be the top senior pro in terms of Duper, and I think it's 6.2, something like that.
Wow.
my gosh.
Um,
Can you tell us, you were talking earlier before the show about how the Pro Pickleball League works? Like you said, you come over once
all
a
right.
month
So
or
there's. Yep. So each weekend, so you have 14 players in your team, and there are 3 pods of 4, 2 men and 2 women. So it's
okay.
12 players plus one reserve male and female who often just rotate through. And then you have a match up against 2 teams each day. So Saturday morning you'll play a team, and then so we might play the Kansas City Stingers on the Saturday morning. And so each pod plays a men's doubles versus the other team, a women's doubles, and then the 2 mixed doubles. And all
Wow.
3 pods play that. And each one is the best of 3 games to 11. So it's
Wow.
conventional. It's not rally scoring, and then you get points, for your wins for each game you've won plus the overall. And then there's some prize money for the overall winning team for each weekend.
Oh.
But then it becomes cumulative, and where you finish at the end of the regular season of 5 rounds determines where you start in championship weekend in Seattle in October. So the
And it
higher
is
you finish there, the higher. I mean, you can still theoretically you could win from last place, but it would be very hard because you have to beat so many teams.
so
Um,
October is when you come to Seattle for the championship.
October is Seattle, and that's the big one. Yep.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
We're putting it on our calendar.
So
Yeah, for
please come. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And the hope is
Yeah.
that it'll be at Side Out. Is that the
Side out. Yep.
Side Out?
I
sure.
believe it's going to be at Side Out.
That's going to be
Yeah.
a
Wow.
wonderful facility there too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine that you are flying back. I've been to Australia. Beautiful. Loved it. But oh my word, that flight. I
It's a
mean,
long flight.
it's it's a long flight. And how often are you doing that flight?
So it's once a month for 6 months. So it takes a week to get over the jet lag going and then a week to get over it coming back. So
Right?
basically spend half of the next 6 months jet lagged. But oh my goodness, it's worth it. It really is worth it. It's just it's great competition and great camaraderie and just so many friends and connections, and yeah, I love it. So the jet lag is worth it, and we're used to it in Australia. We're so remote down here that we all travel a lot. You
Yeah.
probably find everywhere you go you find loud Australians. Or
Yep.
we do travel a lot. Yeah.
That's actually why I started laughing earlier in the show. Something just hit me about a remembrance of being with a loud Australian in Vietnam. And I just started laughing. Just your
our,
accent brought that to
our
my mind.
accent,
Yeah.
we hate our accent. You know, for other countries they probably think it's interesting, but we don't like our accent. So when we
Oh,
travel, we don't want to hear other Australian accents. I don't. You might feel the same about Americans, but yeah.
completely. And it's so funny that we would call anybody else's way of speaking having an accent. In fact, we all have
Yeah,
accents.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depends on our perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've played all over the world. What are
Yeah.
some of your favorite places where you've played?
I think my favorite probably overall was the US Open in Naples.
Ah,
And the first one that I went to, but I'd only been playing for just on a year. And my partner and I, Mike Newell, got into the senior pro, and they gave us a wild card into the Open, the 19 plus Open as well, men's.
oh,
So we were very fresh. We didn't know the game that well. And the draw came out for the Open, and round one, M. Clark and M. Newell versus B. Johns and C. Johns,
oh, come on. Top seeds.
which was just awesome because we were never going to make an indent into the main draw. Never. So we might as well play the best and, get that experience. So
Exactly.
we came out, we had nothing to lose. We went up 5-1 in the first game.
What?
And then they woke up and they destroyed us as they should. Yeah. They were just half asleep for the first 10 minutes. But that was an absolute buzz. And they were such nice guys to play against, very respectful, even though there was a big difference in level, obviously. But that was just the best experience. And
Oh
that,
my gosh.
Wow. How
yeah,
fun.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, if you're going to do it, go for the gusto, Play
exactly.
against the top seeds. Why not?
And Ben
Yeah.
Johns has always been my favorite player to watch.
Yeah.
The game's getting a lot faster, but he kind of epitomized the chess on concrete.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the
That's a good
term
one. I've
chess
never
on
heard that
concrete term
before.
they talk about pickleball. He's just so clever, and I love
Yeah.
the way he plays.
Yeah, he's thinking three hits ahead, right? Like in
Yeah, yeah,
chess, three moves ahead. Oh, what a great
yeah,
phrase. Chess on
yeah,
concrete.
yeah.
That's cool. And where in Asia have you played?
So Phuket, Bali, Vietnam,
Wow.
Korea. They're the
Wow.
main ones, and had a few open wins in the 19 plus in that. But of course, Asian pickleball, it's getting stronger and stronger. But of course, it's well below the US.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to medal in 19 plus open in the US, but can still kind of manage it in the Asian tournaments.
And as you say, it's fast approaching in
Oh,
there. Yeah. I mean, it's
it's
blowing up
fun.
over there.
Apparently in Vietnam, apparently now they have 5,000 custom built courts in Vietnam alone.
Wow.
Oh my
So it
goodness.
is getting very big.
Oh my goodness.
So were
Yeah.
you a tennis pro in Australia?
Not a
How did you?
pro. I played a good, high social level, but not pro level. No.
just amazing how quickly you've come up in pickleball. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I guess I've got some affinity for it, but at the end of the day, I work hard. So I just hit a lot of balls because I enjoy it so much and have a lot of games. And I think when you play that much, you improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clearly,
Yeah.
uh, before you started playing pickleball, had you been to all these countries before?
No, I hadn't been to Korea, hadn't been to Vietnam, um, and hadn't been to Bali. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
so it's the travel. I mean, I always think it's more fun to travel with a purpose than just as a tourist.
Yes.
Um, and so traveling for pickleball, I love it. You meet a lot of locals, you get a good feel for the place, and meet so many people.
Can you
Uh,
think of some funny or poignant or powerful moments in your play anywhere in the world?
I think you remember the wins and you remember the smiles of the people and the friends that you met. I guess they're the two things.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so some good wins, had some good wins and met some great people. I guess they're the standout things.
It's amazing, isn't it, that all the different cultures, the languages, traditions, doesn't matter. It's like you were saying, when you're on the court, you're not thinking of anything else. You're in the
Absolutely,
moment. And you can be
absolutely.
that way with all these people all over the world,
Yep,
where in any other setting, we might have some awkwardness, like, how do I communicate? What's your,
yeah, yep.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Totally
crazy.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Level
Yeah,
playing field.
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
So, with all of your experiences too, have you learned any lessons on the court that you now use in your life, or life lessons that you knew and you use them on the court?
Um, I think the main life lesson I've learned probably the last couple of years, got cancer last year, and from that, I just learnt to worry less about little things.
Wait, say that
Which
again. What was last?
so so last June I had a lump in my neck, and thought, oh, it was just a gland after a virus, and then ended up having some tests because it didn't go away, and it was a throat cancer.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So had an operation on my neck, had radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and now cured, and that's all gone. But I think until then, the whole concept of living for the moment and not worrying about things was almost a cliche. It didn't really feel real until death stares you in the face. I probably didn't learn that lesson. I'd been
Mhm.
surrounded by, suffering and dying in my job, but until it actually hits you, it doesn't feel real. Like you could be what that one.
Yeah.
So I think after that, I probably worry about things less, um, work a bit less hard. Probably don't worry about wins and losses as much, and just the connections have become more important than the results on the scoreboard since then. I'd say that's the
That
yeah.
is very powerful. Martin, I
Thank
am
you.
so sorry that you went through that journey. It sounds like you gained some real important insights and kind of a reset
Yeah.
for life.
Thank you.
But boy, facing our own potential death
Yeah.
is a real wake up call. And
It really
wow,
is. Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
And also, I've heard when my dad was a doctor, and when he was a patient, it was a very different experience, kind of a wake up call for him as a patient, as a doctor. Was it
Yeah.
different for you being a patient? Did that give you a different perspective on being a
Certainly
doctor?
gave you a very different perspective. And it rammed home that when you're as a patient, you don't want to be treated like a number. And
Yeah.
it's when people connect with you, it makes almost as much difference as the actual medicine. So the staff that you remember are the ones who actually connected with you and actually did care. Um, so it was, probably made me a better doctor as well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Although I
Wow.
have a feeling you were kind of a heart centered doctor to begin with, wouldn't you say?
yeah, I'm a sensitive person. I'm probably too sensitive for medicine in some respects.
It,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Overwhelming.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So pickleball is a good release for that too, right?
Pickleball is awesome for that. Yeah.
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 Wow. So
He-
go ahead, Shelley. You
oh,
had a
I was just going to ask if he had any advice for aspiring athletes who have demanding careers.
Um, I'd say you just find a way, because we all sometimes we think we need to exercise or we don't have time, but we still have time to sit down on the couch and watch nothing, or scan the channels for an hour. You can find time to find a hitting partner and just drill for half an hour. So if you don't have time for rec games for 4 hours a week, you can get probably more benefit out of just drilling with someone
yeah.
for half an hour than you probably can out of 2 hours of rec. So if your time's short, find a partner or a ball machine and drill. It's so much fun. If you find someone that you like playing with and you like them, it's so much fun drilling.
It's so
It's a lot of
true.
fun. Yeah.
Great suggestion.
Yeah.
Now, you've been in this game now for 4 years. I can't believe you've done all you've done in 4 years.
Oh,
But
thank you.
oh my
I know,
gosh,
it's
I know,
crazy.
right? And have you seen a change in the game itself over these 4 years?
Just the speed of it.
The
And
speed.
it's got so fast. It's interesting. A friend of mine in Brisbane, just above the Gold Coast, a couple of times a year, they organise a little tournament where you play with different partners and you have to play with the old paddles. So the paddles are back from 4 or 5 years ago. So no spin, no power. And it's quite interesting that the players who keep winning those tournaments are the players who were good 4 or 5 years ago, not the fast players now who.
Right.
Oh,
So it's almost a different skill set, because you used to be able to, we used to talk about green zone, orange zone, red zone for balls, that anything below the knee was red zone, you couldn't attack it, which is not the case anymore with these fast spin paddles. Players will be attacking from their shoelaces and hitting you in the chest with the ball, and it used not to be the case. You couldn't attack those balls, but so certainly the speed is the main thing. Speed and spin.
speed and spin. In fact,
Yeah,
Fran Meyer was one of the first to establish the USA PA Pickleball Association.
yeah,
Mark Friedenberg and Fran's husband Barney Meyer, and she was saying, in fact, the rules are there can be no special surface on the paddle, and even though that's the rule, the paddle makers are coming up with amazing
yeah, yeah.
surfaces on
They
the
just keep
paddles.
pushing the boundaries. So
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it'll be
almost a bit
interesting.
nostalgic about how the game used to be. Um, but yeah, it's a different game now. But you just
Yeah,
have to adapt and
I think
yeah,
the cow's out of the barn or the horse is out of the barn or
yeah,
whatever they say, it can't go back
yeah,
again. But there was something very lovely about that rule because it really did level the playing field more. As she said,
yeah,
there was no advantage in offense or defense. Everybody kind of was at the same pace,
yeah,
and now the paddles are making it. And the youngins
yeah.
can race around the court, and they're all
Absolutely.
or tennis players coming in, and
Yeah.
that which is great. I love the
Yeah,
expansion of the game, but it is different from when it
it's
started, or
different.
even as
So
you say,
a really good paddle now can actually allow a player to level up, and it used not to be that.
that's right.
So
Right.
a few years ago, you really couldn't change paddles and become a better player, but you virtually can now.
You can, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well,
What's your favorite paddle?
Um, I've been sponsored by a company called Luna, and I've really enjoyed their paddles. That's a guy called Matt Nola from the US, um, from
spell
Wichita, who lives in Thailand now. So I've enjoyed using those paddles.
spell the name of that company.
Luna, Lunar.
Okay.
Lunar.
Yeah.
Our audience might want to be checking that out. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm still kind of feeling very moved about your year last year of all
Thank you.
the your health and your illness and then your healing and now being just full on back in pickleball again so quickly. That's and in 4 years all that you've accomplished. Really
Oh, thank you.
remarkable, Martin.
Thank you very
Really
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very inspiring.
Well,
Thank you.
you
Sorry,
meet
go
so
ahead.
many remarkable people. I'll tell you one that I mentioned, Wes Gabrielson. Now, I know that you know Wes, and he came and
Yes.
stayed here a year ago. And, if it wasn't for pickleball, I don't meet someone like Wes Gabrielson. And he, apart from the legendary status he has in pickleball, one of the nicest human beings you could ever meet. Um, and that's what pickleball is all about. The people like that you meet.
So true. We felt the same way about Wes, and I think he's the one who connected us with you, my friend. So
Yeah.
yeah, he is lovely, and everybody he's mentioned to us is as lovely. So
Yeah.
Martin, you are in that same
Oh,
group.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lovely to meet you both. You're both such warm, lovely people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Something about
And
pickleball.
huh? What is Billy?
Something about
Yeah.
pickleball.
And I want to see you in Seattle at
Yes,
Yes,
Side Out.
in
Yeah.
definitely.
October.
Yep.
Cannot wait.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being our guest and I love that we can do this. You're in Australia, we're in Seattle, and it's
So
like we're
fun.
just sitting in the living room having a chat. I mean, it's
Yep.
amazing. Thank you.
Great to meet you both.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so
too.
great to meet you too.
All
And
right.
thank you all. Oh my gosh, thank you for being with us today. Check out the paddle idea. Check out the No, wait. Can we watch this if for those who can't be there in Seattle? Is it going to be streamed?
Yes, each event, starting from the one in LA and the weekend after next, will be streamed. So
Awesome.
it's the NPL website um,
Okay.
has a link to the link to the streaming. So
Okay, well, we'll be watching those and then we'll
yeah,
see you in person.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice
And thank
chatting.
you all.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye
And we
bye.
look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.